Evening all, welcome to a new game. Well, it's not new, it's slightly old. This is Factorio, as I fluff up the intro. Factorio, let me give you the elevator pitch. You're a high power executive, you've just walked into an elevator with me, and I'm a game called Factorio, and I'm going to say these words to you. Base building! No, it's a bit more than that. It's kind of like the ultimate automation thing. What you see before your eyes here is a mess of movement, sounds, and colours. This is pure automation. It's probably, I guess if I was going to kind of attribute it to something, it's like StarCraft and Minecraft and Space Engineers met and had a baby. And then Fortress Craft Evolved came along and basically did a poo on the floor, and and this is what you see before you now. And I don't mean that in a nasty way. This is a fantastic game. This is a game that has absorbed days of my life already, and I just think it's brilliant. Now, this is towards the, I'm not going to say it's the end of the game because there's still loads to unlock yet. But this represents hours of work, and I kind of am enjoying not doing a let's play from the start. I think that's always a bit cliche. I kind of like doing something at the end because so many people will do a let's play and, you know, the views are good at the start, then like 3 or 4 videos in, they're not, and they stop and they bugger off. And so you never see the kind of end game content. Look at that train, look at the train, look at the train. So I think, I thought to myself, it would be nice to give this game some credit and play it from the end or around the end, so it's probably not actually the end. So let me walk you around the base. So you just saw the factory production area. That's our oil and liquids refinery area. That's right, crude oil. You pump crude oil and then you have to turn it into products like sulfuric acid and batteries. Oh my god, we're being attacked. So we've crash landed on a very bad planet. I think we're going to call it Planet P from Starship Troopers because it's surrounded, well, it's basically inhabited by bugs. And there's big bugs, little bugs, nasty bugs, brain bugs. And it's not a good place to be bright. As you can see, there's more, look, they're pretty nasty. And it's really more about surviving them than anything else. But fear not, you have weaponry, you have tools, you have flamethrowers, you have tanks, you have guns, you got sharp sticks, you got harsh language, and many, many other things. This game, if ever I was able to recommend a game, I recommend you get it. And the best thing is it's multiplayer as well. So if anybody's playing this or wants to play this, hit me up and we'll come and do something in this game. Now, I'm also told, and we are going to test this, that the world is infinite. So it will just keep creating territories, resources, etc. So I am all over that. I am really interested in that. So I'm definitely going to do that. But you have to mine resources to create intermediate products to then turn into end products. So you obviously have steel in the blue, you have copper in the kind of orange coppery color, and then you have stones, coal, oil, and many, many other things. And the beauty of this game is that you can just do such clever things like this. You can do blueprinting. So what I'm going to do now, because I've built a drone network, so you see those things floating in the air, they're basically a drone network that are able to support and build things that I tell them to build. Now, they also keep me stocked as well. So every so often you'll see a load of drones running at me and filling me up. That sounds rude, but it's not meant to be. And what effectively they do is this game is a modern masterpiece of just clever design. And what you're seeing here is I'm actually going to delete that. See, the drones are coming to build it. I'm actually sending them back by telling them no. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to move all of our base around. Now, I would stress, doing this in Minecraft or Space Engineers is almost impossible. To move anything around easily and quickly is just not possible. But let me show you how we can do this through just one of the many features of the game, which is blueprints. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. This is my current production. So we refine the ore into plates, and then on the steel side, we're turning iron plates into steel plates as well. So that's 3 resources out of 2 inputs. Okay, so iron becomes steel plates, steel bars and iron plates, and copper becomes copper plate or tin plate, whatever you want to call it. Did I say tin? No, I don't mean tin. But look, so what I've done is I can just basically copy the whole base and tell my droids oi dudes, go build that. I'm not going to do that because it's not the most well designed thing. So you do actually want to try and do a good design. But I just want you to really understand this game is impressive. It has a lot of very nice features. It's currently £15 on Steam, but it's generally always on sale as well, I think. So keep your eye out for it. And as like I say, if you do play this, hit me up on Steam, CEO Pyrex, or one word, and let's have a game of this because it's just unbelievably cool. So this is my factory production area. Let me just show you as well. Now, I don't even build things myself. I do not even soil my hands with the menialities of day-to-day work. I get my droids to do it. And you see there, the droids are rushed to fill the blueprint and they're now basically building what I tell them to build. Now, it's an interesting thing because every single product is craftable in the game. So as long as you've got the resources, you can build these things. Now, what effectively has happened is all of the resources that I guess gather, and I'll show you how I gather them in just a bit because they're actually gathered in external bases, and that train, as you see at the bottom of the map there, the train is steaming on its own AI, and it delivered the resources to my base, and then the machines offload. This game is a wonder of automation. I really do mean that. If you love games that you can just set up something incredible and then just watch it run, this is for you. But you also get your hands dirty as well because you're constantly being attacked. You constantly have to keep designing and moving and adding, and resources deplete. So oil is a big issue for me at the moment because you have to fuel your machines, so you have to have a power network. And you can have two types of power. You can have steam power, or you can have, currently, you can have solar power. Now, that means you've got some choices to make because you then need batteries while the sun goes down and so on. So there's a huge amount of decision to be made, but there is also a wonderful, wonderful element of action in this as well. As in, you know, the aliens are constantly attacking you. They're constantly trying to get through the walls into the base to destroy things. And you have a turret system that obviously keeps them at bay. But we also now have unlocked the tanks, and we have vehicles and tanks and things like that. So we actually are taking the attack to them with tanks that are firing high explosive rounds, you know, armor piercing rounds and so on. So it is wonderful. Do stay tuned. And I almost don't care if you don't like this game because I love it so much and I want you to enjoy it as well. But I'm going to do a series of this video of this game. It's like RimWorld. Not a lot of people watched RimWorld, but I can see why, because if you're not into that kind of game, it's pretty hard to maybe watch. But this game is just absolutely astonishing, and I do hope I can persuade you to that. I think games like this are important because every so often you kind of just want to get away from shooty shooty bang bang and actually just kind of, you know, close your mind a bit or rather open your mind a bit to the fun of what you can do in a creative game. So I think this is definitely worth checking out. It is pretty old, as I said, I do know, but I think, funny enough, I think I only recently discovered it because it came out on Steam, so that could be where maybe I've picked this up. It's probably like RimWorld, where it's been around for ages, but you know, I've not heard of it, I've not seen it. And obviously when it came out on Steam, there's an advert for it, I had a look at it, and I was mashing the buy button because I love games like this. And there's so much to show you, there's so much to do, there's just, I mean, this is just an absolute peach of a game. So, what you see here really is the culmination of probably, I would say, about 5, maybe 3, 4, 5 days of gaming. Not full time, obviously, but, you know, that kind of thing. And I think generally you can see the game has opened up because we've unlocked this droid network. Having droids available to you has made the game incredibly different. So actually what I'm able to do is to place logistic chests and say to droids, right, you R2-D2, keep that thing filled or I'll kick your ass out into the water and I'll sneeze on you or whatever. And basically that droid will just keep doing that. And it's wonderful because that really does start to, you know, give some really quite interesting design choices. So for example, you see here at the top level, those factories are building the building blocks you need for buildings. And what I mean by that is, so basically all of the buildings that you can do with those blueprints are effectively being produced. Now you set limits. Now again, this is probably quite boring to a number of you, so just, we're almost done. But basically once you set those limits on, you know, logistically, how much do you want? So 20 lights, 20 powered pylons, how many generators, how many this, how many that. It just builds them and then stops. And then it will keep a surplus. So when one's taken away, it builds another one. So it is real automation as in, you know, the proper sense of the word. But what that means is that you actually start to get really cool things that you can do. So I've just jumped in one of the little buggies. I'm terrible at driving this thing, by the way. Let me show you firstly where we're getting our steel from. So actually quite close by, I probably could have done this with a conveyor, but that's not much fun. So this is just a huge deposit of iron ore. And as you see there, it's just being mined. It's being protected by walls and guns because obviously the aliens don't like this. And there's plenty more scope to increase that as well. And you saw the train just whiz by. What that is then doing is just mining continually into these huge caches, and then the train comes by and picks it up. And here's the copper one. Now, I haven't defended this one yet, but it's not been attacked. So, you know, fingers crossed the bugs didn't see it in the woods. You notice there is a great big fecking wood there, so that obviously keeps everything a little bit, you know, as you can see I'm driving into everything as well. The buggy's okay. It's got a light machine gun mounted on the roof as well, so if anything comes at me, usually it can stand a bit of a punishment, but for pure lols, the tank is where you want to be. So anyway, coming up to the top west as oh, that's not good. As basically power pylons are affected by damage. So if I leave that damaged, I think the power pylon is less. And when you see what base this is, you'll see why that is. Because obviously with that centralized location fast becoming a bit of a factory, or my main factory, I now needed to move my power generation out of the base. Okay, A, because it's polluting, and B, because it's just nice to get it away from the base, to be honest with you. So what you see there are huge quantities of steam engines that are being fed by that lake through boilers that are being fed coal, and then what you see there, those little things there, are batteries. And basically the steam engines through the day charge up the batteries, then at night the batteries dispense the power into the network. It is gorgeous and I just love it. So each of the pipes, so again you can see how hot the pipe is, the steam engines if they're not powerful enough, and so on. And that little display there just showed you obviously your power consumption network as well. Really nice game. I hope I'm selling it well to you, because I just think this, you know, and again I'm always about kind of, you know, getting your most for your money's worth, and £15 may seem a lot to you, so what's that in dollars? That's probably, I don't know, like about $22, something like that. Probably a bit cheaper in America as well, because everything is, it would appear. But £15 I don't think is too bad at all, because I've easily been entertained hugely by that. Anyway, second base, you see the train has made a stop. So the train's automated, it stops at particular points for a certain amount of time, then buggers off again. But as you can see, this is the garage. So if we come back into our garage, we have a couple of tanks, couple of buggies. And this game is kicking ass. I hope you're enjoying this. Stay tuned for next time when we go and take the tank for a drive.